A lot of older men are very receptive to being called daddy. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Bimbo Book Club. It's me, Teresa, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can curate your Hinge profile to attract high quality dates. This is something my friends ask me about like all the time, you know. I have all these fun stories about the older, wealthier, successful men that I've gone out with, and people are like, how do you meet these guys? And the main thing is I really like using Hinge because I can move my location, and I kind of live like in the country. So I like to move my location to bigger cities in order to meet these kinds of people, you know, like not anything far away, but drivable distance. Your number one photo just needs to be eye-catching. Imagine you're writing a paper. What is the first thing you're supposed to write? You need an attention grabber, right? So your first picture, mine personally, is a bikini picture because yes, that's eye-catching. The second picture I think that you should post is a smiling picture. Mine actually is not a smiling picture right now. It is a full body picture, which I normally think should be third. You know, I have all of the elements of like the profile that I like, except for in a different order. So these aren't hard and fast rules, but these are all like photos that I like to have and like how I would generally order them. So like I said, the first photo needs to be an attention grabber, and the second photo, I usually like it to be like a smiling picture, like pretty up close, so that they can see your whole face and like they can tell your teeth aren't really messed up. And I don't know, it just makes you look happier and more fun, because sometimes girls like they only post sexy pictures of them like smizing, and that gets boring. Like if you're looking for somebody to go on a date with, you're not looking for somebody, you might be looking for somebody that's like sexy or whatever, but for me, the people that I want to go out with are very fun and like carefree. So I like to prioritize having photos of me smiling. And especially when you're dealing with older men the way that I prefer to, they think that that's like a big deal because a lot of people in our generation don't smile in their pictures. And I understand why, you know, sometimes like you get insecure about it, or I don't know, you just feel sexier, like, I don't know. Trust me, I get it. I am definitely, as you can see, based on my profile, I'm definitely one of the people who doesn't take a lot of pictures of myself smiling. Then the third photo, this is where I would normally put a full body photo. I really do think that you need to include a full body photo just so people know like what you look like and like what to expect. So the fourth photo, again, I think it should be another like kind of up close picture of your face. I think you can be smiling or smizing, but I do really think that it's probably the same like headshot kind of thing, not like professional or anything. I know some people like to include that, but like I said, you're telling a story with your profile. Like, what do you want your profile to say about you? My profile, I wanted to say that I'm like sexy and fun. And you know, if you want to look like a hardworking professional and like you want to go out with people that like want to talk about work or whatever, like that is something that's important to you for your character, then maybe include that. But for me, I just like to look like fun and hot. The fifth photo that I think that you should include is a group photo. Fortunately, I got back on track with what kind of photos you should be posting, but I do think you should include one group photo just so people know that you have friends and you're not gonna be like clingy because you don't have any friends and you're not like mean or anything. Just include like one group photo, maybe two, because I think the sixth photo, I do think it's important to have as many photos as you can, just so that you have a full view, like they have a full view of like what kind of a person you are. So I think it is important to have more photos. The sixth photo, it can be kind of a wild card. You can use another group photo if you want to. Mine is actually like a video because I think that they're more interactive and that kind of like attracts more attention. So I think that that is a good way to get some more engagement on your Hinge profile. And I make sure to use prompts on all of my photos. I don't really know if this actually does anything, but I got like a notification from Hinge that said like adding prompts helps you get more matches or whatever. I don't know how true that is. I can't see like the algorithm or anything for Hinge, so I don't know if that's true, but like that's what they said. I definitely think one thing that a lot of people forget is to keep their profiles up to date. You know, like if you're not on it every day, you're not even thinking about it, you just kind of like go through the motions, and you should keep your content like up to date. And one thing that I always like to do is keep my Instagram linked to my profile so that you can see all of my photos are fairly recent, because You know, a lot of my photos I just pulled from my Instagram anyway. When it comes to the answers portion, I just think, like, don't be basic. Every guy that I've gone out with, you know, they'll tell me about some of the most basic answers that they've seen. My best advice to you is if it has anything to do with sushi or dogs, cut it out. They're sick of seeing it. You need to stand out, and your answers are a way to show that you're not just a pretty face, but you're also, you know, clever and fun or whatever. So one of the answers that I have, it says, dating me is like, and I have Taylor Tomlinson and Lana Rhoades had a love child. You know, because like that's funny. I'm saying like, I'm a comedian and a porn star in one, but like I couldn't say I'm a porn star on Hinge because I could get deleted. So like it's a fun way to incorporate that, but also not get your account deleted. And then I also have like my best travel story. If you check out, I secretly vlogged my trip to North Carolina with a stranger. I have an answer where it says my best travel story. I road tripped from Oklahoma to North Carolina with a stranger I met on Hinge. And that always like is very engaging, especially on Hinge, since it was somebody that I met on Hinge. So people know that I'm willing to actually meet them in person, because a lot of girls are on there just like chatting and people aren't looking for a pen pal. It also shows, you know, like I'm fun and spontaneous and that I'm a good time to hang out with. So I think that that's a lot of what the answers should be showing. I think the answers are showing like a little bit more of your personality. You know, they can see your beautiful face, obviously, but what else is there to you? Like, this is where you get to be funny, smart, witty, whatever you want to be. And in my final answer, it says, my mantra is, if you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself. And this is a really great conversation starter. I've noticed, you know, it either goes one of two ways. Either they'll say, I totally agree with you, I always have to do everything myself. Or you'll meet some people who are like, no, like you're going to get burnt out. You need to be working with other people, like it's okay if it's not up to your standards. I've met some people like that and they're really chill people and I like those people. Then it goes into my virtues, and all I have visible is like my education and my religious beliefs, because I do think that those are kind of conversation starters and tell a little bit more about a person. But I also don't think that in this section of your Hinge profile you need to be super like transparent. Nobody wants to read all of that, you know, like just include relevant information. Kind of the same thing once you get into my vitals. Like obviously you have your name on there, and I have my gender. They do have an option to set your pronouns, but personally I haven't decided if I'm like a she, her, or a she, they yet. So I don't have that on my profile, but I do have my age, my height, my location is visible, but it's actually not where I am. I have my ethnicity. It says I don't have any children, because I do think that that is valuable information. When you're dating, I don't have any children, and that's a good thing. Like some people want somebody with no children. If you're okay with having children, but like I don't think that you should hide that you have children, but I also don't think that you should really have your children on your profile just for safety reasons. But obviously, like I'm not a parent, so don't listen to me. Do whatever you want. That's just like my decision. I think that you should be upfront about it, but like I just don't like the idea of posting your child on a dating site. I think it's a little weird. And then for my vices, the only thing that it says is like smoking and drinking. It says no, I don't smoke, and yes, I drink. Some common mistakes that I see, you know, since I am bisexual, so I see both sides of Tinder, or that I've heard about from other people that I've gone out with. One thing that I've noticed is like over editing photos so you can like barely see what your face looks like super blurred out. Like I get it so much that like sometimes we're insecure and like smoothing out a photo will help it look better, but sometimes people overdo it. So just be mindful of that when you're choosing photos for your Hinge profile. Another thing that I've heard from some of these older men that I've gone out with is girls will use pictures of themselves from like way back, like 10 years ago or something, which obviously if I used pictures of myself from 10 years ago, I would have been like 13 and that would be weird. But you know, if you're like 40 years old and you're using pictures of yourself from when you're 30, like that's still not very honest. And that kind of leads me into my next point, is like not posting any pictures of your body and like just up close pictures of your face, because like maybe you're insecure about your weight, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I do think that you should be like upfront and honest, because like what's the point of tricking somebody into going on a date with you when they don't actually really know what you look like, and it's just gonna be uncomfortable. Like, that date's not gonna be fun if they were expecting you to look a certain way and they're going to have whatever prejudices against you. I just think you should be open and honest and upfront about what you look like. Like I said, not over filtering your photos, not using super old photos, and yeah, like including full body photos. I think all body types are beautiful and that there's somebody out there for everyone. I think, you know, there's a guy that loves skinny girls like me. Like, there are some people that think I'm hideous. People are like, you know, you're built like a praying mantis. I've heard that a million times. And there are people that prefer my body type and like they wouldn't want to go out with somebody that's bigger. And there's nothing wrong with that. Those are just preferences that people have. But I do think that it should be on the table before you go out with them. Like, it's just a waste of both of your time if it's going to be like an awkward date because they have a certain expectation that you aren't meeting. Like, just go out with people that are genuinely going to like you and don't like try to hide whatever you're insecure about. Another thing that I've heard about is like having too many group photos. I noticed this especially with men, but some women too. Or if they have the same like few friends in every picture and you can't really tell who it is in the photo, it's probably the ugliest one in the photo. Just a little tip for you there. And I'll swipe left. Like, if I can't figure out who you are, I'm swiping left. And then another thing is like, you know, just like I said earlier, just putting too much smize and like trying to look too sexy. Like, look fun, post pictures of you out doing something, looking adventurous, smiling, out with your friends. Like, just don't look boring. Like, how are you going to attract fun dates if your profile doesn't make you look fun? And that also includes like posting too many selfies, because that just means like you're always alone and you're always just taking pictures of yourself and your photos are like really curated. And obviously, yes, like my photos are hella curated because they're straight off my Instagram. I already said that. But like, I think the way that you should curate your Hinge profile or any dating profile, I might make some more videos like this in the future using different dating apps, but I'm banned from Tinder, so like, keep that in mind. Or comment if you want me to make this kind of a video for men. I actually had this idea, instead of like how to set up your profile like this, if my audience wants to send me screenshots of their profile, make sure you know like this is going to be in a video. Like, I'm gonna try and post screenshots that you send me so that I can like give examples. But if you think that that would be a cool video idea, like message me on Instagram, pictures of your profile, and I'll like review it. I think that would be a really cool video to do. Now, I don't normally message first, because look at me, why would I? But normally if I do choose to message first, here are some little tips, is like either pull something out of their profile to talk about. You know, I know that I matched with a girl recently who one of her answers was something about going to Greece on like a whim. Like, she left within a week, and I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to hear about your trip to Greece. Or my favorite pickup line that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I came up with this in college and I remember using it on Bumble. And I would ask people, do you have any children? And they would say, you know, like yes or no. And like sometimes they would ask why. And I go, 'cause you look like a daddy. You know, it answers a very relevant question. Like I mentioned earlier, do you have children? That's something that I would like to know. And a lot of older men are very receptive to being called daddy. So they really like that one. If you liked this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up down below. I mentioned before already, leave comments down below. Let me know what videos you want to see from me in the future. Do you like some of these dating videos, or do you prefer me to talk about like OnlyFans? All you guys want to hear about from me is OnlyFans and dating older men. So if there are any specific questions you have about those certain topics, make sure you leave them in the comments below and hit the red subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload new videos. And I'll see you in the next one.